This is Eagle Owl, and today I'll be talking about Zack Baun. Yes, the Rams are trying to get him. Maybe, maybe not. We're gonna talk about it. Also, we got to talk about Nolan Smith. He's just tough as nails. And lastly, Bryce Huff being the trade candidate. But let's get straight into it. All right, before we hop straight into it, got to shout out today's sponsor, BetUS. Use promo code U2150, get 150% boost on your first deposit, and on your next two deposits, get 125% boost up to $2,000. All right, so let's get into some quick hits before we get into the main topics. Lane Johnson, yes, he posted a video of him squatting, working out, getting to it. No days off for Lane Johnson. He's getting ready for the season. It's off season, but Lane Johnson got to start a little early. He got to get his workout in, get right, get to it. Shout out to Lane Johnson. All right, so it's another guy I want to talk about. Bears are making moves. Low key, they might be tampering. I believe they are, but they cut a good guy in DeMarcus Walker. Now, I'm not saying he's a superstar, but he's a really good rotational piece. And the people with the Chicago Bears are trying to figure out why the hell did they cut him. I think they probably going after Josh Sweat. I wouldn't be surprised. That's what they do. They take out players. TJ Edwards over there. They got DeAndre Swift from us, and I think Josh Sweat is going to be the next guy. So, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they tampering or something like that. But then I start looking at it for us on our side, like, dang, what if we can bring a guy in like that? Brandon Graham with the possible retirement, the disappointment in Bryce Huff. And, he did some things with Vic Fangio. Shout out to Anthony DeBona. He put this out here, right? DeMarcus Walker played for 2 seasons under Vic Fangio with the Broncos. In those 2 seasons, 2019, 2020, Walker had 8.5 sacks, 27 total pressures, and 8 tackles for loss, and 604 total defensive snaps. Now that's good rotational, snaps. Again, I'm not sure what we're doing with Bryce Huff. Brandon Graham retiring. This is all before the draft. So I'm just looking at it like he's one of those guys you could bring on and see if he could beat somebody for a spot. We're gonna sign a bunch of guys, see if they can make the team or whatever. But he's a solid rotational piece. He's really solid. So again, the Bears are surprised they cut him. I'm not. They look like they're trying to free up money for a big signing. Again, I won't be surprised if it's Josh Sweat. So I'm looking at that guy like, why not bring him in as a rotational guy for us? All right. So speaking of defensive ends, let's talk about Bryce Huff. So ESPN put him as a possible trade candidate. Maybe we could save some money against the cap or whatever. My personal opinion, I don't think Howie gonna do it. I think Howie and Vic Fangio and those guys gonna give him a year. I think if he don't get it right, then they can explore trading him. But it's up to Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff, it's like he mentally can't handle Philly. We seen these guys come in, get drafted here time and time again. Yeah, they might be talented. Hell, they might go somewhere else and be talented. Like a Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett, he's doing really good in Houston, but Houston don't got the big media. He wasn't drafted in the first round by Houston, so he could just really just play his role. And when you look at like a guy like Bryce Huff, went to New York, undrafted, rotational guy who overexceeded and got 10 plus sacks that year. It was his contract year. And he even admitted in an interview, like, yeah, I went to the Eagles because I wanted to take the bag. And you heard little things coming out in training camp by Vic Fangio, like, yeah, he's still developing this and that. And Eagles fans, we looking like, what? A guy that's getting paid 30 plus million, a guy that's supposed to be replacing Hassan Reddick is still developing. Is still trying to learn, figure it out. No, he needs to know this right now. He's getting paid a shit ton of money. And that's at the time we was unsure about Nolan Smith. We know Josh Sweat is not really like that 1A guy. He more could be a 1B or number 2. And Josh Sweat could get it hot at any time. But I never looked at Josh Sweat as a premier guy. So we was like, oh man, this ain't good. This is not good. So I say that to say this. That pressure might be getting to Bryce Huff. And if the pressure is on him and he can't, get to that next level, it's going to be really hard. Because he even said, like, yo, Brandon Graham used to try to hold him up. No telling how many videos he's seen on YouTube. You know how it get on Twitter, Instagram, people in his comments, DMs. As points of the season, he deleted all Eagle stuff, turned off his DMs, and, you know, he went ghost. He went ghost because he wasn't mentally there. But then he started picking up a couple games, started getting some pressures, got a couple sacks, but then the wrist injury. And then we benched him in the Super Bowl. He was inactive, a healthy scratch. It's like, can he recover from this? And if he can, Eagles fans will love him. They will love him. You got to look at Nolan Smith, look at Jordan Davis. Look at my old videos going in on those guys. So when they turned it around, they shut me the hell up. You know what? I changed my tune. So can Bryce Huff do that? Because if Bryce Huff can do that and shut up a lot of guys, hey, that's what we want you to do. We not one of those fan bases like, oh man, he's gonna pick it up. Let's just give him chance after chance after chance after chance. The one thing that has been making this team successful is because the fans are so passionate. Because Howie is so passionate to get this team better and Jeffrey Lurie. So again, if Bryce Huff can't handle it, it's gonna be a tough road, man. A really, really tough road. Right, let's get into the next topic. Nolan Smith. So reported as of yesterday, he played the second half of the Super Bowl with a torn tricep or whatever. And he's tough as nails, man. He is tough as nails. And he put out a message on Instagram, and this is what Nolan Smith said. Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute or an hour or even a year, but eventually it will subside. But if I quit, however, it will last forever. And he added the guy who came up with that. I believe that's a preacher. And yeah, he played with torn triceps, man. So you look at him, Landon, Cam Jurgens, all have to get surgery. Now it's the end of the year, which is great, and all of them will be back for the training camp or whatever. So man, Nolan Smith, you would have never known. Because I didn't see any drop off in the second half. He went out and partied for the parade. He was definitely partying in the locker room. I just didn't know. I didn't see it. I didn't see anything that looked weird. So I mean, this is this guy's a loose screw. I would say that. Sometimes football players, physical game, you just need those guys to be just a tad bit loose than the normal guy in the brain cells. So to play through torn triceps, go crazy in the locker room, go crazy in the parade, as I said, and then just to find out you got to get surgery. This dude is absolutely insane, man. He's absolutely insane in a good way. So Nolan Smith can never question his toughness, never question about him leaving it all out on the field. We love that. Eagles fans love that. So yeah, he's a guy I was wrong on for sure. Actually, no, I never questioned his toughness or anything like that. I just said tone it down till you get to that level. He can speak whatever he want now. He could talk whatever he want to talk now. Nolan Smith is like that for sure. For sure. I can't dispute that. Can't say anything about that. He's like that for sure. But last but certainly not least, Zack Baun. Zack Baun, he's starting to get some traction, and the Rams are rumored to sign Zack Baun. They rumored to give him that bread. And I don't want that to happen. Eagles can't let that happen. Now, this is coming from a third-party source of NFL rumors. I don't know where they got it from. And they saying that's the destination that's trying to get him. And I hope that don't happen. I hope that don't happen because Zack Baun is the best linebacker in the NFC right now. Shout out to Fred Warner, but Zack Baun has been playing at a high level for sure. Now he definitely had to build that resume, and sometimes you got to look at it too. Will a team actually break the bank at the 1 year? At the 1 year, will a team actually break the bank? Now it's always that team. It's always that team that will. And I just don't think I don't think the Eagles will break the bank on Zack Baun. I don't think they'll do it because they look at Vic Fangio like, well, you did it with Van Ginkel. You did it with Zack Baun. Can you do it again if we go get a guy? Or can you develop Trotter Jr.? Or maybe if we pay over in Burks, can he take that spot? I really don't know. I don't know. But when you look at it, if Zack Baun goes somewhere else, we really thin. Because again, you got Trotter Jr., you'll have over in Burks. Barry and Sumarin is coming off like a knee injury. N'Kobe Dean's probably not going to be back till like October ish. But I just don't see how we breaking the bank though. Breaking the bank, and let's say if the Bears, nah, not the Bears, they just got TJ Edwards. Let's say if the Rams decide like, you know what, we're gonna pay on that bread. You can't get mad at it. Zack Baun's what 27, 28. Get one big contract. Yeah, the Eagle fan heart in me is going to be upset, but at the same time, the finance guy in Eagle Owl, like I kind of understand how he's going to offer him something, but I just don't see like no match though. But for him to leave the Philadelphia Eagles, I think a team would have to get him the match, and the Eagles again just not going to match it. It's not going to happen. So how we figure this out, fix this, get this guy paid. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hey man, what do you think? How do you feel? Zack Baun to the Rams? I hope not. Also, Bryce Huff, possible trade candidate. I just don't see it happening. But can he survive in Philly? I don't know. We'll see. Talked about Lane Johnson, Nolan Smith. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm out.